You ever have that moment where you're just standing at the end of your driveway, coffee in hand, and you look down to see your trash can smashed, scuffed up, maybe even run clean over, and you wonder, am I losing my mind or is someone actually out to get me? Yeah, that happened to me. And you better believe the person behind it was the last one you'd expect, the one in charge of keeping the neighborhood orderly. I'm talking about Marlene Driscoll, HOA president, self-declared queen of the cul-de-sac. And if you think I'm exaggerating, well, let me back up a sec. First Thursday I ever spent in our new place in Plano, Texas. Nice, quiet, a place where my kids could ride their bikes, not a care in the world. Trash day. I come outside and there's my bin laid out like roadkill. Big fresh scrape on the side tire marks on the curb, and right across the street there's Peter Haskins' old-timer with a ball cap and a knowing grin. Saw it again, he calls, like this is just Thursday tradition. And I knew even then he meant Marlene. Marlene, she's not just president, she's a hawk. You step out of line, she's circling. I'd barely finished moving my family in before she was critiquing the color of my shutters. Not a rule violation, mind you, just doesn't really match the neighborhood tone, she says, standing there with her clipboard like she's picking out drapes for the whole block. Next week, it's a letter about my daughter's basketball left by the curb. Then the porch chair's unsuitable. My wife and I joked she must have binoculars pointed at our place, but honestly, it didn't feel like a joke, not with that woman. But with the trash can. Man, that was next level. Wind wasn't coincidence. I'd see her every Thursday backing her sedan out just close enough to nudge my bin. Once I even confronted her. She smiled all pearls and poison. Oh, Devin, these bins are flimsy. Maybe get a sturdier one. Like I didn't know exactly what she was doing. The kicker, HOA wouldn't do squat. I filed complaints, we'll review the matter every time, like I was the crazy one. I tried to let it go. My wife Erica would say, don't give her the satisfaction. My 12-year-old daughter Sophie, wise beyond her years, says, Dad, get one of those huge bins like Uncle Brad has. No way she can knock that over. Even my son Jonah, just 8, asked Mom, why's that lady always mean to us? It wasn't just about the bin anymore, it was about principle. You shouldn't feel hunted in your own neighborhood. So I decided, enough. No more letting it slide, no more hoping someone else would do something. I'd figure it out myself, no more back and forth with the board, just action. The thing is, Marlene was like clockwork. My trash can would be fine all week, then Thursday morning, like she had an alarm set, bam, knocked over. The dents started piling up, little badges of war. The neighborhood knew it too. Peter would shrug. She's been like this for years. Jillian from 3 houses down whispered, she's gone after us too, but not like you. I think she's got it out for you. Even the neighbors who stayed quiet would shoot me looks of sympathy. It wasn't just my family anymore, she was making an example out of us. I started to feel trapped. Either I ignore it, let her win, or push back and risk being labeled that guy in the HOA newsletter. But at some point, you've got to decide what you'll put up with. For me, it all came to a head on another Thursday. I left for work late just to see if I could catch her. Parked halfway down the block, phone in hand, and watched as she backed out slow as you please, lined her bumper up, and thunk the bin toppled. She didn't even flinch. I didn't have video yet. But that night I told my family, and Erica said, she's doing it because she knows you can't prove it. Jonah pouted. What's the point of rules if nobody helps when she breaks them? I realized he was right. It wasn't about grass or basketballs or even the bin. It was about who got to be in control. So I did what any modern dad would do, hit the forums, started reading up on hidden cameras, home security, even stumbled on a wild thread about a guy who reinforced his bin to keep raccoons out. And it clicked. I was done playing by Marlene's rules. That weekend, I hit the hardware store, filled a cart with steel tubing brackets, heavy-duty bolts, and a brand new bin. Spent all night in the garage, drilling and cursing and laughing a little when I pictured her face. By Sunday, I had a trash can that looked like everyone else's on the outside, but was basically a tank on the inside. My daughter caught me tightening the last bolt. She's going to be mad. Huh, she grinned. I ruffled her hair. Sometimes bullies need a lesson. Installed a motion-activated camera too. Nothing fancy, just pointed straight at the curb. By Wednesday night, Everything was ready. The air felt electric. Thursday morning, I parked out front, coffee in hand, nerves on edge. Sure enough, 8:15, Marlene comes out, perfect hair, sunglasses, not a care in the world. She backs out, and this time, her bumper meets steel. There's this loud metallic clang you could probably hear a block away. The look on her face, shocked, furious, then completely blank, was priceless. I strolled out. "Everything okay, Marlene?" She tried to brush it off. "Your bin is in the way." I just shrugged. "Same spot as always. You know the rules." She shot me a glare sharp enough to strip paint and stormed off. My kids nearly fell over laughing when they saw the footage. Even Erica, who usually worries, cracked a smile. "You're going to start a war," she said, and I just grinned. "Yeah, but at least it's on my terms." Word spread fast. Next Thursday, she tries again, backs out at a sharper angle, really guns it. Bang. This time, a chunk of her bumper snaps clean off. She jumps out shrieking about property damage. Peter comes out with his coffee neighbors, peek through curtains, and I say, "Funny, I thought your car damaged my trash can. And by the way, I've got it all on camera." She blanched, marched back into her house fuming. By that weekend, Jillian caught me at the mailbox. Good for you. Somebody had to stand up to her. But not everyone agreed. Greg Turner pulled me aside, worried. "She runs the board. She'll make your life hell." I told him, "She already has." Sunday. Marlene marched into my yard, clipboard in hand, demanding I remove the hazardous bin. I didn't get up. It's city-issued, reinforced to last. If you've got a problem, take it up with them. And don't forget, I've got the video. Peter and Jillian standing on their lawns watching. For once, nobody backed her up. But Marlene wasn't done, oh no. Next week, a letter arrives accusing me of endangering residents. Erica's worried, but I know she's desperate. I called a lawyer friend. He laughed. "She's got nothing. If she pushes, show the footage." Knowing I had the law on my side, man, that was all the confidence I needed. So I set up a little cookout on my driveway, just neighbors. Burgers, sodas. Folks drifted over, Peter, Jillian, more families. Kids playing, laughter, just normalcy. Marlene appeared at the edge of the yard, clipboard clutched like a weapon. "Is this a sanctioned gathering?" she demanded. I told her, "Just neighbors talking, not against the rules." She tried to rally support. No one moved. I walked over and said, "I've put up with months of this insult's property damage. You crossed the line. But people here aren't afraid anymore. They're tired," Peter muttered. "He's right." Jillian folded her arms. Even Greg just looked away. Marlene tried one last time. Without rules, there's chaos. But this time, nobody listened. She spun on her heel and marched home. The whole block seemed to breathe out at once. Peter toasted to standing up. That night, Erica leaned against me and said, "You did it. You turned the tide." That's the thing. It wasn't about the trash can. It wasn't even about Marlene. It was about my kids seeing what happens when you stand up to a bully. About a neighborhood remembering what it feels like to breathe free. After that, people started living again. Flowers popped up, basketballs left outside, laughter on the street. Even Peter added new garden lights, bold and bright. Marlene, well, her memos slowed to a trickle, her blinds stayed drawn, but she never did resign. One night, Sophie asked me, "Dad, why did she hate us so much?" I told her, "It's not hate, honey. Some people just like control, and we didn't play by their script." Jonah piped up like a bully on the playground. "Exactly," I said. A week later, the kids drew a muscle-bound trash can on the driveway. Can man saves the day. I laughed so hard I had to sit down. For all the frustration and late nights, maybe that's what matters, the lesson you leave behind. That you don't have to push harder, but you do have to stand firm. So if you've ever had someone try to keep you in your place through rules, power, intimidation, remember Devin's story. Sometimes the answer isn't to fight louder, but to fight smarter. Respect goes both ways, and if you're watching this thinking about your own Marlene, maybe today's the day you stop letting fear run your life. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever had to stand up to a bully? HOA or otherwise? Where do you draw the line between order and overreach? And hey, if this story hit home, hit subscribe, share it with someone who needs a little courage. And remember, sometimes it's the smallest act of resistance that changes everything.